This is Doug Farragut inviting you to join me with Lesson 9 in our Manx Radio course Abbyr Shen. Say that, an introduction to our Gaelic language. Ta seo dúilse caracha den reissued de hanach den merem, son lesson 9 ons nen goes ec radio vanen Abbyr Shen, fósla dan glea gilgach ein. Lesson 9. Lesson 9. Create an obbyr. Create an obbyr. What's your job? First of all, obbyr means work in general. There are several ways in Manx to say what someone does. Say we want to say, he is a teacher. We could say, te Ferinzi. He is a teacher. Ferinzi, incidentally, is a male teacher. A more Gaelic way of saying the same thing is she Ferinzi Shen. He is a teacher, which really means it's a teacher he is. Or we could say she Ferinzi Ton. He is a teacher, and that really means it's a teacher who is in him. Now, we've got some words coming up now for some occupations. Ben Inzi is a woman teacher. Studer, a student. Gerede, a gardener. Banker, a banker. And of course everyone says, oh, there's no Manx for banker. You have to use the English word and say banker. Actually, it's an Italian word derived from the benches on which the money changers used to stack up their coins when they were in business in the marketplace. And banker is an international word, and we have our form of it, which is banker. Ergedair is a financier. Clarede is a programmer. Obrenach, a mechanic. Obry, a labourer or a workman. Erinach, a farmer. Yister, a fisherman. And Bonde, a nurse. And we try using some of those words now. She ben inzi ish. She's a teacher. She studer ish. She's a student. She gerede eshin. He's a gardener. She banker adsen. They are bankers. She ergedairton. He's a financier. She kleredemish. I'm a programmer. And to say someone is not something, we replace she with hane. So we say hane obrenach eshin. He's not a mechanic. And that really translates as is not a mechanic, he. To ask what someone is, we replace she with ne. Although it looks like knee when it's spelled N-E-E, it's actually ne. And we say ne obry eshin. Is he a workman? The answer is either she, yes, which means it is, or hane, no, it is not. Ne erinjach us. Are you a farmer? She, yes. Ne yisteros. Are you a fisherman? Hane, no. For a negative question, replace she with nachne. Nachne bonde ish. She. I'll repeat that at normal conversational speed. Nachne bonde ish. She. Isn't she a nurse? Yes. Another way to say what someone is, Tena inzi, he is a teacher. Tena inzi, he is a teacher. N, ny, can mean quite a few things in Manx, and here it means in his. So literally, Tena inzi means he is in his state of being a teacher. As we've seen, m means my, d means your, means both his and her. Think of n as coming from in, meaning in his or in her. The words m, d and meaning his, cause letter changes, mutations. You can read about them in the notes. This is why the F in ferinzi is knocked out. Tena inzi, he is a teacher. We do not say Tena ferinzi, we say Tena inzi. He is a teacher. When or means her, it doesn't cause a letter change, so n, meaning in her, gives no mutations. Tina ben inzi. Tina ben inzi, she's a teacher. As well as describing people's occupations, the former constructions are used to say what people are like and what their nationalities are. And a few more new words for you. Mananach. Mananach means a Manx person as a noun, or Manx as an adjective, but it is the word for nationality, birth, or culture, not the word for the Manx language, which is gilg. Gilg in the south of the island and gilk in the north of the island. Sasnach means in English person. It also means English by nationality, birth or culture, and that is cognate with the Scottish Gaelic Sassenach, which most English people know. And actually it means Saxon, and we Gaelic speakers call English people Saxons, and the Welsh people we call British. And if you look back in history, you'll see why. Albanach is Scottish, or a Scottish person. Yernach, an Irish person. Bretnach, a Welsh person, which really means a Briton, because the Welsh were the original inhabitants of Britain before the Saxons came. Frangach means French, or a French person. Bach means poor, and Birchach means rich. Now I can give you some examples of the use of those new words. She mananach mish. She mananach mish. I'm a Manxman, or I'm a Manx woman. Ne sasnach us. She. Ne sasnach us. She. Are you English? Yes. Tena albanach. Tena albanach. He's a Scotsman. She yernach eshin. She yernach eshin. He's Irish, or he's an Irishman. Te na Bretnach. She's Welsh. Te na Bretnach. She's Welsh. She frangach eshin. She frangach eshin. He's French. She donya bach eshin. She donya bach eshin. He's a poor man. Tena gonya bach. Tena gonya bach. He's a poor man. She ben virchach ish. She ben virchach ish. She's a rich woman. Tina ben virchach. Tina ben virchach. She's a rich woman. To say what people were, we simply use the word they. She donya bach veshin. She donya bach veshin. He was a poor man. Ve na gonya bach. Ve na gonya bach means the same thing. He was a poor man. She ben virchach vesh. She ben virtuachvish, she was a rich woman. Vina ben virtuach. Vina ben virtuach means the same thing, she was a rich woman. If you're using the she construction in the present tense, you don't use te as well, because she and te are two Manx verbs, both meaning is. She donya aglach eishin. She donya aglach eishin. He's a terrible man. To say what people will be, you use the future of the present tense, which is bim, biu, bia, be, bimad, etc. And I'll give you some examples of it. Bim, I shall be, I will be. Biu, you'll be. Bia, he'll be. Be, she'll be. But it's easier to say be-ish, and bimad, we'll be. Bim birchach, I'll be rich. Bimad bach, we'll be poor. Bien a gonemur, he'll be a big man. And to ask questions, just use voice inflection. Be man and birchach, will man be rich? In other words, the Isle of Man. Answers are be, yes. That means will be, or habi, no, will not be. For negatives, you just put ha in front of be, habimad bach, we won't be poor. Now, you may have found these last few paragraphs in the booklet and on air a little difficult to understand, but I wouldn't worry about them, because this is simply an introductory course to the Manx Gaelic, and to learn to speak it properly would take several years. To express future actions, we use nay, meaning will do, or will make with verb nouns. But before doing this, let's look at some of these words. Nim, I'll do, I'll make. Nim. Niu, you'll do, you'll make. Nia, he'll do, he'll make. Niish, she'll do, she'll make. Nimad, we'll do, we'll make. And some examples of that. Nimad gol gusarank. Nimad gol gusarank, we'll go to France. Nim fagen u. Nim fagen u, I'll see you. Niish goila. Niish goila, she'll take it. To ask questions, you say jinnum. Jinnum, will I do, will I make? Jinnu, will you do, will you make? Jinmad, will we do, will we make? Some examples. Jinnu fagen e, nim. Jinnu fagen e, nim. Will you see him? Yes. Jin e gedanya, chajin. Jin e gedanya, hajin. Will he get it? No. Jin e lot gilg. Nay. Jin e lot gilg? Nay. Will she speak Manx? Yes. Hajinam gol gusarank. Hajinam gol gusarank. I won't go to France. Hajin Katrina Faganu. Hajin Katrina Faganu. Catherine won't see you. We're using jinu as an auxiliary verb here. There are more Gaelic and more elegant ways of doing things, but we won't deal with them in these lessons. Of course, not everyone is fortunate enough to have a job. Hanel obbyr, I haven't got a job. In other words, I haven't got work. Tammy as obbyr, I'm out of work. As means out of. If you're retired, you say Tammy mahau, I'm retired, which really means I'm idle, I'm doing nothing. Tenahau, he's retired. And this is a good time to introduce the sharply observed jingle in Manx, which has to do with the first time baby boys are made to try walking. How they perform is a good guide to their future occupations. They used to sit on their grandmother's knees, and their grandmother used to bounce them up and down on their knee and say, Rei, rei, dunya bach, shul, shul, leirinyach, ligge, 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 dunya ser. And that means running, running, a poor man, walking, walking, a farmer, falling, falling, a gentleman. There are some variations to this little rhyme, and it was very often quoted to us by the old native speakers of the language, various forms of it. It was a sort of divination as to what the child would become. The word roi means running, shul means walking, ligge means falling, ser means free, and dunya ser, or a free man, is the Manx for a gentleman. Now, before going on to the collotus, the conversation, we'll just look at a few more words and expressions. Reissued means again. Fós means yet or still. The jaru means indeed. Pert means some. Blinten means years. Pert de vlinten, some years, several years. De henne, ago. Gobrache or govrache is working. Nepetchen, the children. Jow, of them. Pert jow, some of them. Now, for this collotus, to finish off this lesson, Dúlis has found a new pal called Peter, and the Manx for Peter is Pedder. And Dúlis says, Fast am I, kiss thou. Good evening, how are you? And Pedder replies, Ledden vai gur am I ed, kiss thou hidden. Fine, thanks, how are you? And Dúlis says, Tamish fi vai gur am I moored? I'm fine, thank you very much. Go molestial. Ach, velos the studair force. Excuse me, but are you a student still? Pedder says, Hanel. Tammy me inzinish, va me studair pert de vlinten de henna. He says, no, I'm a teacher now. I was a student some years ago. And Dúlis says, the jaru wanya. Harofus emma Shen. Go molestial reissued. Ach cred do gobracha. Which means, indeed, boy. Yes, sir, man. I didn't know that. Excuse me again, but where are you working? And Pedder replies, Ons Ballycastle, in Castletown. And Dúlis says, As Craig Gorish tan a petchen on Shen. What are the children like there? And Pedder says, Ta percho mai, as the percho ulkwane. Some of them are good and some of them are bad, yes, sir. And that's all for lesson 9 in our course Abbyr Shen. Say that. As the Shen olju ons lesson 9, secours singen Abbyr Shen.